Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So, you're planning a trip to the beautiful island of Cyprus? Awesome! We're going to build your complete safety plan, and we'll do it in just a few minutes. All our information today comes straight from EmergencyReady.eu. It's this great project dedicated to gathering all that crucial local knowledge to make sure your adventure, well, stays an adventure and doesn't become an emergency. Yeah, that quote really says it all, doesn't it? Look, the goal here isn't to scare you. Not at all. It's to prepare you. So using the great research from our source, EmergencyReady.eu, let's dive right into the specifics for Cyprus. Our plan today is going to cover pretty much everything you need, from the moment you start packing your bags all the way to handling a real emergency if it comes to that. And we're going to do this logically, just like your trip would unfold. First, we'll talk about the risks you should know about before you even leave. Then, what to pack and how to stay sharp once you're on the ground. We've even got a whole section on driving rules, super important, and we'll wrap it all up with a simple, actionable plan for what to do if things actually go wrong. Okay, first up, your safety briefing. Think of this as the must-know info, the stuff you need before you even start thinking about what to pack. You know, being informed, that's your best first line of defense. So what are we actually dealing with over there? What does the local environment have in store? Because it's not all sunshine and beaches, right? There are 3 key natural hazards you absolutely need to have on your radar. Okay, number 1, wildfires. This is a really big deal, especially in those hot, dry summer months. We're talking about the Troodos and Pentactylos mountain ranges. So the key takeaway here is simple. If you see fire bans, they are not suggestions. You gotta obey them. It's literally for everyone's safety. Next up, earthquakes. Cyprus is in a seismic zone, so moderate quakes do happen from time to time. So here's a super simple but really important habit to get into. The minute you get to your hotel or your Airbnb, just take 30 seconds. That's it. Look around and figure out where the nearest open space or designated shelter is. Easy. And number 3, you guessed it, the heat. In July and August, temperatures can rocket past 40 degrees Celsius. That's 104 Fahrenheit. Heat exhaustion is no joke. So your game plan is simple. Carry water with you everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Stay hydrated. And just try to avoid doing anything too strenuous right in the middle of the day when the sun is at its peak. All right, so knowing about those environmental risks leads us perfectly into our next section, pre-trip prep and packing. Let's figure out what essentials we need to get into those bags. Okay, this list is great, but what's really key is the why behind each item. A 1-liter water bottle? Non-negotiable because of that heat we just talked about. Mosquito repellent? Super important. There are actually cases of West Nile virus reported every summer. And that small first aid kit, you'll be glad you have it because a lot of pharmacies close pretty early, like around 7 p.m. Oh, and yeah, don't forget that Type G plug adapter. It's the same 3-pronged one they use in the UK. Okay, so you've done your prep, you've packed your bags, and you've just landed in beautiful Cyprus. Awesome. This next part is all about situational awareness, how to avoid those common tourist traps, and importantly, knowing where to go if you need to find a safe zone. Now, these are 4 pretty common things you might run into, but the good news is they're all super easy to avoid. In bars, just always ask for a menu with prices before you order. Simple. Taxis, the law says they have to use the meter, so just politely insist on it. The UN buffer zone, you can only cross that at official checkpoints. Don't go wandering off. And finally, buying counterfeit stuff might seem tempting, but it can get you a huge fine when you try to leave the country. Not worth it. Now, in a real emergency, knowing how to find a safe zone is absolutely critical. Keep an eye out for this symbol, the red and white civil defense emblem on a yellow background. That marks a public shelter. Even better, download the Safe CY app. It uses your phone's GPS to guide you straight to the nearest one. And if you're on the coast, always be aware of the blue tsunami signs. They'll put you inland and uphill to higher ground. All right, let's switch gears to a topic that definitely deserves its own section: driving. A lot of visitors rent a car, which is a great way to see the island, but there are some really important rules you need to know. This will keep you safe and help you avoid some pretty hefty fines. Okay, if you remember one thing, and I mean one thing from this section, make it this. In Cyprus, you drive on the left side of the road. That's the same as the UK and Ireland, but it's the opposite of most of Europe and the US. Get this right, and honestly, you've won half the battle. Next up, drink driving. The legal limit here is strict. We're talking 0.5 grams per liter. And get this, it's even lower if you're a new driver or a professional driver. Really, the only safe bet is just zero alcohol if you're going to be behind the wheel. It's that simple. Speeding fines are also a serious business, and they calculate them a little differently here. Just take a look at the table. The fine is actually calculated per kilometer per hour that you're over the limit. So let's say you're doing 20 kilometers over in a zone where that's a 30% increase. Well, that's 20 times €2, a €40 fine right there. It adds up fast. And if you go more than 75% over the limit, you're not just getting a fine, you're getting a summons to go to court. And to wrap up driving, just a few other key rules to remember. Seatbelts, mandatory for everyone in the car. All seats, no exceptions. Using your phone, only if it's a completely hands-free system. And here are a couple of local quirks. Traffic that's already in a roundabout has the right of way. And don't use your horn in towns at night. It's actually banned. Okay, this brings us to our final and maybe most critical section, your emergency action plan. Let's make this crystal clear. Who to call and what to do if something actually goes wrong. This right here, this is the slide you want to screenshot or take a picture of. The most important number to remember is 112. That's the EU-wide emergency number, and they have English-speaking operators. If for some reason that line is busy, the national direct line is 199. And if you run into any trouble at sea, the number for the Coast Guard is 1441. And last but not least, before you even get on the plane, do yourself a favor and download these two apps. We already talked about SafeSci for finding shelters. The other one is the official Emergency 112 app. Now, its best feature, and this is amazing, is that it works with offline maps and can even send your location to emergency services using SMS if you don't have a data connection. That is an incredible piece of tech to have right in your pocket. And there you have it. That's your complete safety briefing for Cyprus. You see, the whole point of preparation isn't to make you worry more, it's so you can worry less. When you have a plan for the unexpected, you're free to just relax and truly enjoy the adventure. Thanks so much for joining us on The Explainer.